Hello everyone, welcome to my channel RPG Retro Reviews. I'm Captain Courageous and I review old school modules and games and try to introduce some trivia and give these classic modules a fun and informative analysis. This week I'm taking a look back at the 1982 module release from TSR, The Lost Caverns of Hold on a second. How do you pronounce Tsojcanth? I so can't pronounce the name of this module. This week I take a look back at the 1982 release, The Lost Caverns of Tsojcanth, written by the Master Dungeon Master himself, Gary Gygax. Spoiler warning, this is a deep delve into these massive caverns, so if you want to play this module, you may want to direct your DM here and not watch the rest of this video. Still with me? Okay, let's get started. Released in 1982, The Lost Caverns of Tsojcanth was originally part of the tournament round for the 1976 WinterCon gaming convention, sponsored by the Metro Detroit Gamers. Ranked 22 in Dungeon Magazine's 30 Greatest Adventures of All Time, The Lost Caverns of Tsojcanth, besides sporting one of the most unpronounceable module titles, ranking only second to the Hidden Shrine of Tsojcanth, this adventure has the adventurers traversing through the treacherous Yatul Mountains attempting to find the lost caverns of the vile archmage Igwiliv in search of her treasure and the legendary artifact Doald's wondrous lanthorn. Thus, the adventure begins as a detailed wilderness hex crawl in the world of Greyhawk before delving into a classic romp through a monster-infested trap-filled cavern labyrinth. The module's origins stem from an original level design by Rob Kuntz. The 1982 version was greatly expanded and reworked from the 1976 WinterCon tournament module, and in addition to a 3-panel cardstock cover, the 32-page booklet detailing the contents of the wilderness and dungeon areas also included a 32-page bonus booklet detailing new monsters and magical items. Gygax began rewriting and reworking the adventure in 1980 to include the wilderness area, and is considered one of the reasons for the delay for the release of Temple of Elemental Evil, as Gygax briefly mentions in his Sorcerer's Scroll article from Dragon Magazine number 55 in November of 1981. Part of the novelty of the module originally was the expansion booklet's inclusion of unique, never-before-seen monsters. Many of the monsters included would later go on to see publication in the Monster Manual 2 and Unearthed Arcana, many of which have since become iconic D&D monsters such as the Behir, the Bodak, the Demon Chasmi, and the Demon Prince Grazit. Of course, the adventure is firmly placed in Greyhawk in the Yatul Mountains near Perrinland and revolves around the legend of the evil archmage Igwiliv and her vast treasure hoard rumored to be buried in the caverns of Tsojcanth, the mage's lost lair. As if that alone were not enough inducement to capture the interest of the PCs, they are hired by the Margrave of Bissell to track down and find the lost caverns. All of this coming about as new information as to the treasure's location comes to light. Of course, Bissell is not the only power seeking Igwiliv's lost hoard. Bissell's enemies and rivals from Perrinland, Voluna, Ket, and the Empire of Ayuz are seeking to uncover the mage's hidden wealth and powerful magic artifacts, including the legendary Doald's wondrous lanthorn. The module provides both a detailed DM's hex map of the wilderness area and a partially filled hex map to distribute to the players. There's a very detailed wandering monster table with 20 different encounters, 6 of which correspond to the numbered locations on the player's map, though which location is which is not specified and left for the DM to determine. There are 2 side trails that must be discovered by the PCs as they explored the wilderness. Location B leads to the Gnomish village and subsequent lair, of which a map is given and can serve as a much-needed base of operations if the characters can befriend the gnomes here. The start path leads to the Caverns of Tsojcanth themselves, and from there the module transitions into a traditional dungeon crawl. Like many of the adventures of this time period, the dungeon is rather densely populated given the space involved, but Gygax does a good job of infusing this location with his Gygaxian naturalism, with a flowing river full of fish and caverns filled with edible fungus to maintain the population. 2 maps are provided detailing the locations, broken down into the lesser and greater caverns. As you can see by these maps, it's a sprawling, difficult to map affair with crisscrossing passages and rooms in every direction, assuring that exploration of the caverns will be anything but linear. In addition to the types of monsters one might expect to find in such a place, such as trolls, bats, giant cave crickets, ghasts, Zorn, and the like, there also are some rather bizarre and weird things as well. The entrance to the cave descends with a flight of stairs and then opens up into a large natural cavern room with 6 exits. Next to each exit is a face carved in bas relief, a dowmer placed on each, so that when a member of the party approaches within 3 feet, a magic mouth will appear and say, "Turn back, this is not the way." In the mouth of each carving is a visible gem, but of course, reaching in said mouth is probably not recommended as one might expect. However, if a character simply requests a face to stick out his tongue, the face will say, "Ah," and stick out its tongue, with the gem being on the end and easily acquired. Spells of any sort will prove unsuccessful in getting the faces to provide information about the dungeon, but if the word truth is used in any of the questioning, the face will lie and say, "My way is the right way." All except the narrow passage south, which will say, "I watch the only way." Room 18 is also quite strange. Here the party will find a richly furnished, carpet-strewn cave room. High-pitched giggling can be heard, and the party will encounter a flamboyantly dressed midget who will pull aside a silk curtain revealing a chamber beyond. There the party sees 2 rather lovely, silken garment-attired harem girls guarded by what appears to be a eunuch. What could possibly go wrong here? Gygax makes liberal use of boxed text descriptions with easy-to-follow detailed encounters. As is typical of Gygax, there are quite a few tricks and traps, riddles, and puzzles that will challenge the players, not just the character statistics on the sheet, though there's plenty of action and combat to be had here as well. The Greater Caverns, or the second level of the dungeon, continues the shenanigans with a variety of interesting encounters to keep players busy, but the DM should be well versed in the details of Room 9, the glowing grotto, which will teleport the party to one of 4 different locations, and not everyone to the same location, which could quickly turn quite deadly. The adventure culminates in a central hub on the second level where Igwilev's daughter Drelsna lies in repose, actually in stasis, until the chamber is breached. Drelsna is now a vampire. Getting into the final chamber will certainly prove an exercise in frustration for the characters, and the player's entry will only be accomplished after a series of 6 teleports has taken place. Each entry hall is preceded by a pair of massive iron doors. A long corridor follows with walls of red marble and thick carpet, the ceiling providing an eerie red glow. The far door has a shiny pull rank, and pulling it will open the door, but briefly before everyone in the hallway is teleported to one of 6 similar locations as noted by the letters on the DM's map. Each inner door must be attempted once before entry into the inner chamber can finally be accomplished. Clearly, only a persistent party will prevail here. Gaining entry to the central hub will result in a classic boss battle with Drelsna and a few of her minions, after which the Archmage's treasures will be won, including Daald's wondrous lantern. The 32-page Monsters and Treasures booklet worked as a supplement to the AD&D game at the time, though much of what's here would later go on to appear in Unearthed Arcana and Monster Manual 2. In addition to the new monsters and magical items, there is a short list of new clerical and magic user spells, an article on the use of magical diagrams, and the reputed magical properties of gems. The Lost Caverns of Tsojcanth was the fourth and final module in the S series, or special series of modules, that included such classics as the Tomb of Horrors, White Plume Mountain, and Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. The Lost Cavern of Tsojcanth was originally slated to be part of the WG series of modules, but due to delays ended up being part of the S series. The adventure would later turn up in a compilation module, S1 to 4 Realms of Horror, in 1987, though the Monsters and Magical Items booklet was not reprinted. In 2013, Wizards of the Coast released Dungeons of Dread as part of its premium reprint series, which were reprints of S1 to 4, and this compilation does indeed include the Monsters and Magical Items booklet. WG4, The Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, acts as a supplement to S4 and is essentially a side trek the PCs can experience if they make friends with the gnomes of the Gnomish Vale. Artwork for this module includes cover art by Earl Otis depicting the new Behir monster decimating a party of adventurers. The back cover and cover art is by Jim Holloway. Jeff easily provides some of the most evocative and classic interior art, which certainly ranks as some of the best of old school artwork from classic modules, including the full-page portraits of Igwilv's vampiric daughter Drelsna lying in repose under the mystic glow of Daald's wondrous lantern. Acquiring a copy of this excellent classic module on eBay will run you about $40, depending on condition and completeness. Getting a good quality and complete copy of this module can be tricky due to including not one, but two 32-page booklets. A print-on-demand copy of this module is available at DriveThruRPG for only $10.50, and that includes a high-quality searchable PDF. The high-quality color maps I've been showing you alongside the module's original maps are done by the very talented John Pinter as part of his excellent realistic maps series. John is amazingly talented, and he takes the descriptions from classic modules and fully realizes them in beautiful renditions that are just fun to look at for better visualization of the areas described, or if you are looking for something to use to run this as part of a virtual tabletop. He's done excellent maps for Castle Ravenloft, Castle Amber, Against the Giants, Descent into the Depths of the Earth, and more. I cannot speak highly enough of John's work, and if you haven't checked it out already, please check out the link in the description. You can get John's Tsojcanth maps at DriveThruRPG for only $3.99. So let's take a look at the Lost Caverns of Tsojcanth on my D20 scale of style, presentation, and value. Style-wise, this is one of TSR's best in the classic and much beloved Advanced Dungeons & Dragons trade dress. The 3-panel blue maps are nicely detailed, as is the Hexcrawl Wilderness map. Both the front and back cover art is evocative, high quality from the respective artists, but it's Jeff Easley's interior artwork that easily knocks this one out of the park. There isn't a bad piece in here. I'm going to give this one a natural 20 critical hit. As for presentation, this is Gygax at his best. Well-written box text descriptions, fun wilderness encounters packed with thought-provoking tricks and traps. Unequivocally, fans of old-school Dungeons & Dragons will find many play sessions of fun with this one. As is usually the case with Gygax's modules, this is a lot of fun to just sit down and read as the DM, as it is to run it. Add to that the 32-page supplement. While perhaps not as useful as it once was when it was originally released due to the magical items, spells, and monsters going on to appear in other compilation books, the article on gems and symbols is still useful reading. I'll rate this a 19. Finally, let's look at value. Clearly, there is a lot packed into the 32-page adventure module, 2 full levels, a vast wilderness hex crawl, and base of operations, this module will provide material that will surely last many game sessions. Add to that the supplemental material from the 32-page Monster and Magical Items book, and that would make it a must-have for any D&D fan. The price of a quality collector's original off eBay might be rather expensive, but the $10.50 print on demand from Drive-Thru RPG makes this a great buy, so I'll give this a rating of 17. That brings my overall rating for the Lost Caverns of Tsojcanth to a 19. Amazing. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you found this review interesting, fun, and useful. As you can see, I've stepped up my game for module review releases and am now managing 2 reviews a week, with one releasing on Wednesday and the other on Saturday night, and it's my intention to keep this up for as long as I can, even after the quarantine is lifted. Of course, that all depends on your support. Give the video a like and share wherever you can, and that helps with the YouTube algorithm significantly. Of course, if you decide that you'd like to purchase something I've reviewed, using the affiliate links in the description also helps out significantly. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and click the little bell so you'll get notifications when I release new content. Like, comment, and share. Join the RPG Retro Review Facebook page and consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon. As always, my friends, may your D20 roll true and game on.